Welcome to McFarland's Corner. I'm Mike McFarland, your host of Lake Fork Public Rundowns, Lake Fork Members Only Rundowns, and the Let's Talk Fishing Show. Today I'm going to give you a quick update on what's happened on Lake Fork the last 2 days since we talked on Tuesday. Remember, I film these every Tuesday and I film them every Thursday, and they should be uploaded and airing by Wednesdays and Fridays. Gives you the best chance for during the week fishing and your weekend fishing. I also like you to remember that this is a free public report. It's a basic report. There's a members only private channel that you can subscribe to that gives much more detail. In fact, very intricate detail, locations, colors, techniques, and it includes 5 other fishing guides covering a multitude of lakes all the way from Dallas, Northeast Texas. We cover Ray Hubbard, Palestine, Possum Kingdom, Lavon, Tawakoni, on and on. In fact, we've added to the list this week Lake Hawkins, Northeast Texas Lake Hawkins. But anyways, that's the members only channel. If you're interested in upgrading from your public subscription, look in the description below, click on members link, follow the procedure, and upgrade your subscription. We'd love to have you. If you're struggling to do that, you need to be on the Lake Fork Guides homepage too, the YouTube homepage to do that. But let's tell you about Fork. I talked to you the other day on Tuesday, and as I was talking to you, the lake was actually falling. However, it was thundering and raining, if you recall. Heavy. It continued to thunder and rain all through the night and all day yesterday. All day. The morning was a little break, but it brought us about 5.5, 6 inches of rain in several places, 2 to 3 minimum. And as you can see now on the board, the lake is now 403.27. For every 0.25 is 3 inches. So we literally came up close to 5 inches of lake level. Okay, certainly more than 3 inches here just alone. But call this an inch and a half, 4.5 inches of lake increase overnight. Almost, pretty much within 48 hours. Let's call it crazy. Down, up, down, up, down, up. This really does have the fish pretty screwed up. The fish have to relocate. I drove by the dam this morning, and only one gate is open, and it's really just cracked open. It's not roaring open, it's just cracked. So they're not lowering the lake real fast, but the lake soon will flatten out once the creeks start flowing and begin to drop. And there we are with that Texas two-step. 2-3 days of rising, 2-3 days of lowering. A couple days of warming, a couple days of cooling. It's been on and on. It's becoming the trend of our February, March, April fishing here on Fork. If you hit it right, if you're here when it's warm trending and potentially on the rise, you catch them really good. Last Tuesday, the lake was on the rise. The swim jig bite was off the chain. Today, the lake is on the rise. The shallow swim bait bite, frog bite, anything really shallow, skinny water is on fire. As soon as the lake starts to drop, you see the effects, and you can't talk to a person on the lake, especially guides, locals, that won't tell you that a gate open and the lake dropping this time of year hurts the fishing. Can you catch them? Sure. Are you going to grind? Absolutely. So, back off. When the water starts to go back on the fall, back off of the shallows, back off just a little bit. Slow down with your Senkos and your soft plastics. But the fish here have another round of spawning to do. We have a full moon coming now the next 10 days or so, and there will be another round. There's a lot of big fish moving into the shallows right now. There's a lot of fish that have spawned, but there's also a lot of fish that have not spawned. So I expect to see, another round of bedfish. It's probably the biggest wave around anyways. But there's post-spawn fish too. So it's time to break out your top waters, like your El Chapo or Whopper Plopper, whichever. I like the Chapo. This is the small Chapo 90. I like the chrome in black back, especially on cloudy days. I really like the chrome and black back. And then brim colors. It's really hard to miss the brim colors, but your brim color El Chapo. Berkeley bait's really good there. And then here's one of my favorites, the Berkeley Jaywalker 100. And or the Berkeley Bullet Pop. Get in the backs of the backwaters and fish some of those. You're going to start seeing shad spawn. And that's really going to change things here very, very quickly over the next probably week to two, potentially, as this last round of spawners kind of finishes up. But again, you know, I don't have a lot of information for you more than what I've just kind of shared. A lot of the situation that makes this lake the toughest this time of year is that the water temperatures are cooling once again with the cool weather and the flooding, and the lake is on the rise, and it's constantly changing. If the lake was, say, 4 feet low, and it'd come up 3 inches, and then come up 2 more inches, and come up 5 inches, and never had the fall back, we wouldn't have near as much of an up and down roller coaster ride as we do, because the lake is full pool, and they keep opening gates to dump that extra water. So, great shape though. Water wasn't, I drove around the lake this morning, and I didn't fish today. I drove around the lake, just checked things out. And I can tell you that it wasn't as muddy as I expected. The backwaters weren't. They really looked good. It's because there's a good amount of vegetation slowing the water down and filtering it a little bit. Everything from pencil reeds and buckbrush and some fresh alligator grass growing, and quite a bit of coontail. Very little hydrilla. There is some hydrilla on the east side. I haven't found much hydrilla on the west side. But the lake's in great shape, and I really expect an awesome spring here. I want to tell you something that's going to transpire tomorrow out of the minnow bucket. A Facebook celebrity or a Facebook influencer is in town. And we are taking her fishing tomorrow. Let's see what we got here. I'm trying to see if I can give you a little bit more information on it, if I can find it. Why is that not coming up? Anyways, Mariah Howell is in town. She has 275,000 followers on Facebook. She owns Lifted Truck Rippers. I think it's Lifted Truck Rippers out of Florida. She's a big-time Florida fisherman. She's a captain, has a big, huge ocean boat and whatnot, and captain out of Florida. She's caught bass fishing here. And tomorrow we're hosting what they call the Unfair Advantage Tournament through the DFW Bass Fishing Forum. Mariah is going to be guided by me, and they're hosting this tournament with the intentions of calling it an unfair advantage because of a few things. Mariah doesn't bass fish, and Mariah's not the best bass fisherman, period. Not to knock her down. She's an incredible Facebook influencer with huge following, and a great presence, and a nice lady, nice person. She can fish okay. She can fish pretty good. It's going to be my job to get her on fish, her job to catch them. And here's the contest is called the Unfair Advantage because she gets to weigh or count her biggest over. She gets to count her biggest slot fish. You have to catch either an over or weigh your biggest under. So the only way to beat her is if she doesn't catch a fish. You catch an over, you're probably not going to beat her with an under. That's why they're calling it the Unfair Advantage. However, I can tell you that this thing is sponsored by a lot of different things because of her connections, because of Lifted Rippers trucking that she owns, and they do trucks and fishing equipment and power poles and all kinds of boat supplies as well. She's a big influencer, so there is a lot involved in this, and they have a ton of giveaways. So come on out. It's at the Minnow Bucket. They're going to be doing a live Facebook tomorrow around 7:15 a.m. at the Minnow Bucket. Come have breakfast with it. Meet her before we go out. And I don't know I think it's $20 to enter the tournament. It may not even be that. Maybe no entry. Don't hold me to that. But come out, have fun with us. I'm not allowed to fish, so none of my fish count. I probably fish with her a little bit for fun. But none of my fish count. Mariah has to catch the fish. And then, of course, I think you guys get it. That's the Unfair Advantage starting tomorrow. DFW Fishing Forum. Owner of that is Rick Cruz, and Tackle Co-op. Tackle Co-op is hosting this huge deal, and he's going to have a lot more influencers doing kind of the same thing down the road. from month to month. So come join us, the Minnow Bucket, tomorrow morning. It's going to be fun. I think the fishing is going to be really good tomorrow, depending on how fast this lake starts to drop. As always, I want to give a big shout out to J. Hodge Chevrolet, Texas Insider Fishing Report. We just filmed our second show of the year, and it's coming out this weekend on Bally Sports, Southwest Sports. You can find that. Just Google Texas Insider Fishing Report. We cover all of Texas. We cover the coast. You can really get some good information there. And then I want to just a big shout out to all the sponsors, all the support, even you guys, all the subscribers. We continue to grow. Hit the like button if you found this good. Comment below. We love that when you share. You share your testimonies. I had a nice gentleman last week that I taught him how to bed fish. I really went through the details through the day, and the next day he was catching bedfish on his own, and really messaged me back and thanked me for that. I had a young gentleman, friend of mine, good friend. The father's a good friend, and the young 14-year-old boy, same thing. He ended up catching a PB the very next day with what I taught him how to bed fish. I love seeing those kinds of things. So if you're watching this, share that with me. Share back. And remember, the Members Only channel, I'm going to film here in just a minute. The Members Only channel has so much more content to it. It's really worth your subscription. Check it out. If you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. So, Mike McFarland, the Lake Fork Guide, giving you a Lake Fork rundown.